Okay. And you can cut all this out where I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Because I don't know what's going on.
Welcome to Stuff Lab. I'm Gwen.
I'm Brianna.
And what are we doing today?
Making masks for the plague.
Sounds like a good deal to me. I'm super sucky at making anything on a on a sewing machine, so school me. Show me how it's done.
So this pattern's really simple. It's 3 pieces of fabric assembled around the mask components, and then it's washable in the machine, and it stays pretty tight around your face. The best part about sheets is that if you get the shitty sheets, they are 100% cotton, and if they're woven and not jersey knit, they just rip so nicely.
So you can take the outside seam just right off of it?
Yep. But problem is sometimes they don't always sew the seams right on the grain of the fabric. So you have to do it again a little farther over. And then once they are de-hemmed, we need 3 rectangles of fabric for each mask that are 10 inches by 8 inches. So you can actually just go down the line, and every 10-inch strip will then get cut into 8-inch rectangles. And they don't have to be exact. You can mess up 100 different ways making these things, and they will still work. Also, wash and dry your fabric before you use it.
I hear plagues aren't great.
Bad reviews. 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Step 2, yep.
Do you ever get the thing on your clothes where there's just the tiniest thread and you pull on it and it's like everything just bunches up into it? It's like, why? Right. You were 1 nanometer long and now I don't have pants anymore. They're shorts.
And these don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be perfect. They just need to be close. Help me do math.
No.
5 times 2 is 10.
It's a good thing we never worked in billing. Like, that would be a problem.
But didn't technically we work in billing?
I mean, by technically we absolutely did. Yes.
Okay. So you're going to want to make 8-inch rectangles out of your 10-inch strips. Numbers are hard.
Numbers are hard.
Oh yes, it's just so satisfying. And then once they're in a nice little stack, you can also pull the threads out so much easier. You can do this with t-shirts. I mean, however you get 3 10 by 8 rectangles is an appropriate way to get your fabric. Just don't steal it or break the law. This is the wrong side.
Okay.
And this is the right side.
Oh.
So you don't want this on the outside when you make it. I mean, it is just an aesthetic thing, really. It still works. It doesn't affect the functionality at all. It's just, usually the pattern looks better on the right side. So all you need is 3 pieces of fabric. And I bought 2 teal sheets and 1 gray sheet. So we're just gonna double up on the teal. But then you're gonna want the right side of the fabric to go in, because you're gonna sew it and then turn it inside out. Which isn't as scary as it sounds, but see, like, this piece is way bigger, because it just can be. Just line up one of the sides, and then you can make this. You can just sew right here, and it'll be fine. You can sew them crooked as long as when you flip it inside out, it's a totally seal. If you're really bad at sewing, you could make these 11 by 9, and then just sew a full inch in. If you wanted to, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. And then if you do notice that there's a smaller one, I usually sew on this one, so I make sure that I cover it completely.
So this is the ravioli step.
Yeah! And the middle piece, so the middle piece is gonna be the bottom.
Okay.
Of whatever you're doing. I mean, it can be the bottom. Usually when you stack them, whichever one you wanna be on the inside, put it on the bottom first. Okay. And then put the other 2 on top, and then you can sew them however. And then when you flip them inside out, you get to pick between the 3 fabrics.
What's step 4?
Sewing.
Sewing?
Yep.
All right.
We're gonna sew all the way around, except for 1.5 to 2 inches.
Okay.
And that's where we're gonna flip it inside out. And you don't have to reinforce any of these. You can have, I'm going to teach Connor how to do it this week. My 9-year-old is going to be ripping stitches on these because they don't need to be great. They just need to be in a straightish line. You just want to make a rectangle.
Is there any particular type of stitch or thread, or just don't suck it into the machine and wreck everything?
Right. Oh, it's bouncy. And then I can kind of see that this fabric stops right here, so I'm just going to stop right there. And then lift it up and turn it, and rip. Or go as slow as you want, however you're comfortable with. This bouncing is fun.
Sorry. It's what you
I
get.
wonder if I can. So then you just want to stop like right there.
You have made a superb napkin.
Thank you. And then don't try to pull it if your needle is still in it. And then that'll get flipped inside out. I am trimming off the corners.
Okay.
Because when you fold it inside out and you push out the corners, it's just a lot easier if there's less fabric. You don't have to, but it is a lot easier to sew. And it's such a simple step. And you can trim off the extra. You don't have to. You don't have to. Yeah. Okay, so flipping inside out. So you find your opening.
Opening acquired.
Yes, and then you want to, and it depends on which two you want to be on the outside.
Okay.
So really, if I wanted to do all gray, if the wrong side was not facing out, I could, but whichever two you want.
Okay.
And then it's gonna split a little bit right there. It's fine, just don't rip it. And then you're just gonna push and finagle and tuck.
To get it inside out?
Yeah, and just dick with it.
It's like the worst pair of socks of your life.
Right? But this fabric is actually pretty soft, isn't it? Take el crochet hooko, and you just kind of run it along the seam, and you pop out those corners a little bit. You don't have to push too hard, and don't use a big, huge knitting needle because you'll pop out all the corners, Iris.
Okay.
And then there you have it.
We have made a doll bed.
A doll bed. This is step doll bed.
This is step doll bed.
And then there's going to be this. Don't worry about that. That's going to get folded right in when we put it all together. You actually, and you don't even have to. That's the thing. You don't necessarily have to push out the corners all the way. They'll still work. So the wire piece that goes in the nose just needs to be about 4 inches long-ish. So a DVD case. It's great. And then you just flip it over like that. And just tighten it up a tiny bit.
Do the eyeballs need to go in the same direction?
No, I mean not really. It's the once the wire's in there and it goes and it gets washed and everything, it's gonna get twisted around. You just don't want a pokey end to poke through the fabric. That's the only goal.
So we have rope.
We also have a rope,
What kind of rope is this?
Cotton rope, preferably, but this is like a cotton on the inside and poly nylon on the outside because that's what Walmart had because they were out of the cotton clothesline because I bought it all. And you want about 5 feet. I'm about 5 feet tall. Tie knot on each end. That's it.
All right.
So for each mask, you need a piece of rope and a piece of wire. You can iron them and that makes it easier, but you don't have to. The first thing you're going to do is this is the top. Wherever this opening is the top. And then you decide which side you want outward. So I'm going to make this one a gray one on the outside. And you put the wire right in the middle, right on the top. And you just fold it over. And you don't have to pin it. You just have to hold the wire there. And you tuck it on the machine. And then you go about an inch from the edge, all the way across to an inch from the edge. And that is that. So now you can add the rope and you don't have to, oh look, hello. And you can cut out this corner if you want to, because it's just gonna get folded in and it's got a lot of extra fabric. You don't need it. So this is the top of the mask and the knot goes to the top. So what you're gonna do is take this corner and just fold it in a little bit, just like that. Put put the rope
You wanna
on
show
top.
me again?
Yeah. So just tuck it in a little bit like that. Put the rope on top, about there. And it doesn't have to be exact. Fold it over. But you are gonna wanna seal right here because that's gonna keep the wire in there. And then this is where you want to know enough to be able to do a reverse stitch because that's going to seal up the bottom so that the stitches don't like pop out, and you're going to want to do another reverse stitch on top. And mine has a little reverse button right here. So I go forward a little bit, backward a little bit, and then right along the rope. And then the fabric's just gonna kind of do what the fabric does. And when you get up here, so it's sealed, and you go back a little bit. And that side's done. So you flip her over. And then this corner that we didn't have to do anything with, you don't have to because it just folds right in like that. So you just want this to come down a little bit. Rope on top. Flip it over. Back to the machine. And then reverse. And then sometimes we'll get stuck. And then right when you get up here where it's sealed in there, that's it. That's that. And then the last step is the chin pocket that your chin sits in. And also not exact. It's
So
just folded in half because we're gonna
along the long way.
Nope. So when it's on your face, it's gonna be right here. So you're gonna want to fold it in half and get that little middle, and we're gonna sew right here. And then we're going to cut that little triangle off. And again, it doesn't have to be exact. It can be wherever, about there. And then, done. And it just needs to be trimmed up. But it's all sealed together, and I mean, I could put it on right now. So you're gonna wanna scrunch it, put your chin in there, take your glasses off, jizz. And then the wire goes around your nose. Hello, do you like my glorious eyebrows? Done. And it's sealed all the way around. And it's still totally adjustable to your face. It can be as big or as little as you need it to be. That's that.
And that's how we make a mask.
And that's how you make a mask.
Thanks, Bev, for showing us how to make masks at home.
The simple way.
The simple way. It's cost effective, very easy to find materials. You can find the materials in your house.
You can use t-shirts. You can use any 100% cotton fabric. Just make sure you have 3 squares of it or 3 rectangles of it. And this will work.
Everyone do your part to keep yourself healthy, keep your friends healthy, keep
Wash your
family
hands.
healthy. Wash your hands. Don't be gross. You should wash your hands anyways.
You should wash your hands.
All right, thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Fun.